It's about time that I did another review. This time it's going to be Steins Gate. I don't have any fancy grading systems, so this is just a casual review, and I may be missing a couple topics here and there, as I'm reading off my old notes, which I assume covers enough for this video. So let me try to make sense of them. And just a warning, massive spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, get out, get going, get out of here, go, go, go. Alright, so Steins Gate was essentially my first time travel anime, and boy did it deliver. I also didn't catch what was essentially being waved in front of us throughout, so I was very surprised for the big reveals. Very hype worthy, very exciting. I just love it when they wave something in front of you and you don't catch on to it, but they hint and can hint and you don't catch on to it. I love that. But anyhow, let's get into several topics, I guess. Romance. My goodness, it even delivered on the romance. Okabe and Christina. So there was a great slow build between Okabe and Kurisu. So they start off kind of just jabbing at each other here and there. Kurisu was interested in Okabe's successful experiments and stuff like that. She got tied into it, and his claims, and then they just started to tease and troll one another and poke fun, and then they slowly began to like such from one another, and over time they were able to bond. And I recall Christina clearly agitated him once just to get the response from him, and she liked that. So it was very interesting. I thought originally that it was going to be Mayuri and Okabe, because that would make most sense to me. The two who spent the most time together in life. So I was wrong on that assumption, but that ain't a bad thing. So then there was the symbolism of watches, the hourglass timer, and then kind of Mayuri's statement of being a hostage and not being one any longer. That was some, I guess, shortly timed foreshadowing. But yeah, the watches, the hourglass timer. I did not really get the hourglass timer for quite a bit of it. Some people thought there was like a chip in it, aka CERN was listening in on them, but perhaps it was just symbolic representative of them being out of time, and thus the raid begins. Anyhow, this series had a very serious tone to it, very dark, very much this uneasiness to it given enough time and episodes, and it does take time to get into a show. This one, the first half is the build. So the first half is like a season 1, and the second half is like a season 2. The second half is where things really go down, and the season 1, the first half essentially is like it establishing everything, and then it really gets cooking. So it's a necessary thing with any season 1 versus a season 2, even though it's all one. That's how you can kind of look at it. But yeah, it gets this very serious and unsettling tone to it over time. And just me, I thought the severed bloody doll head with, I hope, ketchup was a bit too far. I think that was a bit too far. That really just beyond creeps. Very disturbing and haunting. I lost sleep over this anime. And that's a title that goes to a select few. And this was one of those. I thought that was a bit too far. But it was shocking enough, and geez. But I do think it was a little far, but that's just me. Nonetheless, it is what it is. Then there was character relationships, all sorts of different dynamics and relationships between all the different characters. Very interesting. I guess my best instance of it is Suzu, whatever. I got so many anime names in my head, it's whatever the case. But Suzu and Daru having a connection. That's an interesting reveal later on, which I can't think of any other instances, but John Titor, FB, all sorts of other things. And that takes us to, I guess, big reveals, since I can't think of any other, all the different dynamics between all the characters, but they're all, it's wonderful writing. It's wonderful writing, very good writing. And before I forget, because I'm kind of free flow on this as well, I can go off script. The serious tone, it's so important with this genre. I think that's how this genre shines. Have it be very serious, have it be quite dark, have a lot of realism with it as much as possible. Make it as believable as possible. Don't have it be where, oh, this person just survives because of this somehow. No, it has to be very, very, very realistically done. And that's what Steins Gate was. It went about it very realistic. But big reveals. My gosh. Just hype-worthy. Hype-worthy. This show had it. Episode 1, so impressive. You could go back and watch episode 1 3 times and still catch stuff. Jeez. I mean, you could watch the show 3 times, still catch stuff that you didn't catch. And that's an amazingly written show, where you can catch more stuff every time you watch it. And that's the case with a good amount of anime, to be honest. Anime is being written so well. But the big reveals, mystery. Oh my gosh, the mystery. I love mystery, and this was very enjoyable as a mystery. Being able to ponder after each episode and speculate, and just wanting to whatever it's called. What's it called? Just marathon it, essentially. Just marathon it. Do multiple episodes. It would be very tough not to. I'll just put it like that. But yeah, all the different mysteries. Everything from episode 1, Karisu's killer, the blank video that was sent, then everything about John Titor, FB, all the unknowns with CERN, all the unknown threats at any given time, every single D-mail change, and then on top of that, all the butterfly effects. Just amazing amounts of mystery, and that is one of the things I value most in media. I love mystery. I love mystery. So this was just phenomenal, grand, very good. So there's big reveals. I didn't really say the big reveals. Whatever, there's nothing in my notes about it, so I'll just combine it with the cliffhangers, I guess, because they're kind of in there. Cliffhangers. Oh my gosh. This anime, I don't know, does it take the title of King of Cliffhangers? I don't know. It probably should. I mean, it cliffhangered like picture perfect. Nearly every single episode, it ended on just a big, good cliffhanger. And you wanted to continue. You wanted to know what happens. Amazing. Amazing writing. Amazing writing. They leave it off at such a good spot where you have to see that next episode. That's a very good thing. But yeah, the cliffhangers from even the first episode, oh my gosh, you have it where you saw Kurisu dead, then you see him sending the thing, the whole world changes, you don't have a clue what the heck is going on. And I've seen Steins Gate multiple times, more than 2, believe me, more than 2. But that first time around, holy heck, is that fun. Oh, I've said ample times, I wish I could time travel back and see it again, blind, completely blind. That would, a whole live reaction, doing it blind as if I never seen it before. That would be so enjoyable. So enjoyable. But yeah, episode 1, you see Kurisu dead. He sends the thing, the text. The whole world around him shifts, changes. There's a whole crowd. They disappear. Then we later see Okabe and Daru in the elevator. And of course, things are a bit different. And then elevator doors open. Kurisu's there, standing alive when she was dead before. Massive cliffhanger on the first episode. That is a absolutely phenomenal thing to have in an anime. And another good thing to have in an anime is a mystery death on the first episode. That's how you know this sucker's gonna be good. This is gonna be good. Good. I'll tell you that much. It reminds me of Erased in that way. When there's a death in the first episode, mystery death, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But, cliffhangers. Episode 12 with Mayuri's death. Episode 14 with the reveal of John Titor, whatever. I don't care. Pronunciate it any way you want. Language being divided up over time anyway. Episode 22 with Suzuha. So I did have that name written down in my notes. It was just later on here. Up there I wrote it Suzu, and down here I wrote it Suzuha. So we got it back. Memory kicking in thanks to the notes. Thank you, notes. And then, just cliffhangers everywhere. The one where he sent, you could name almost every episode where it ended on this massive cliffhanger. The one where he did the Ferris D-mail, and then at the end, the music kicking in, him realizing the whole dang town changed with one D-mail that he sent back in time to help somebody out. The whole town changed. It's all altered. Really interesting, fascinating stuff. And then the build into episode 23 and 24, massive reveals. Essentially, episode 23 and 24 are the icing on the cake with the series. Icing on the cake. Another thing is, I already said this, but confusion, not understanding something or not getting it until later on. Things are explained later on. You don't understand everything earlier on, but later on it's explained. Everything makes sense. Everything adds up. Everything's tied together, connected. You'll get it. But yeah, being able to wave things in front of our face and then later being able to understand them or get the big reveal about something they hinted or alluded towards, yet you don't pick up on. I love that. Just a brief example of the wonderful mystery confusion tie-in. I think I can remember just losing my mind with hype over when I saw the episode where essentially towards the end of the episode they get the IBN 5100 and the guy at the shrine says to him, he says something like, 10 years ago someone dropped it off and said that a man would need it later on. Your mind just goes everywhere. I love to speculate. I love the mystery. I love that. I love being able to have it where you can speculate episode to episode. After every episode that you want to speculate, you want to ponder on the mystery, you want to take guesses, you want to try and figure out every possibility, and then they have it where it's something you never even thought of. I love that. But yeah, I think I can remember back to when I first saw that episode. I heard that and I was hype worthy. Oh my gosh, what does it mean? Who did it? Why? Obvious time travel, but who knows what I thought back then. I don't know. I probably thought time travel. It's fairly blatantly obvious. You just don't know who or why and all that. Another thing is just the grand plot as a whole, from start to finish. Just shifting from the original world line, everything going wrong from that point, helping everyone but altering the world in unknown ways, which could be a danger or could be a good thing. Then you essentially work towards saving one girl. Then the one big reveal that I forgot to mention is the episode where you probably just lose your dang mind in hype. There are very few anime, well, I don't want to say it like that, but there are anime that are hernia worthy, hype worthy. I just word it like that, I guess, to myself. That's just what I say. Hernia worthy, hype worthy. But yeah, there's this one episode where I don't know, it's like 19, 20 or 21 or somewhere around there. At the end of the episode, I guess 20, maybe 19, probably 20, 21, where Kurisu he's just about to go back to the original world line after fixing everything, after endless toils. And he realizes returning to the original world line would put him back on the original, which I said multiple times, real smart, but that would mean Kurisu would once again be dead. So, and with how he cares for her at that point, he can't do that. So he's stuck. He's stuck in this big, huge dilemma. But yeah, and then he falls for Kurisu, and then he had to sacrifice her to save Mayuri, so he goes back to the original world line, and then he is tasked to still save the girl in the end, so it does have a happy end, which is nice. I like that. Given all the Steins Gate Zero stuff, though, I almost would have preferred it if they somehow would have given us the original run. So I guess part of Steins Gate, and then part of Steins Gate Zero, then the rest of Steins Gate Zero, and leading back into the good end of Steins Gate. But it is what it is. It's amazing as it is. So I'm getting so many topics in my mind. I can't cover them all. So and there were good details with Kurisu if you caught things in certain episodes. I was observant to it, considering how many times I've seen it. They hint towards stuff. It's written in there. They hint towards stuff that's not yet revealed. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. With Kurisu, there is such good advanced, hinting. In regards to her being sensitive to people getting strong emotions in like anger due to her father. When Okabe was similar to that made her cry. That was hinting. When another thing to note is when, and this might be nothing, but I just picked up on it, when the raid was happening on the lab, the one man broke the TV in there, and the one person who screamed and shouted in reaction to it was Kurisu, aka she was fearful of it, probably in a normal general sense, but also because of her father being a dirtbag. And he was a good dirtbag. I don't know what that says in my notes. But it was so honorable of her at that one point to be willing to sacrifice herself to allow Mayuri to live. That shows a boatload of character. And she is such a tsundere, I will tell you that much. Christina, the zombie, the assistant, whatever all the names are. Mayuri's death, I don't know, for me, I don't know if they were going for the feels, but I never really got the feels from it. I don't know why. Maybe it lacked her perspective because we're in Okabe's shoes. And maybe it lacked enough time with slice of life elements. I don't know. Plus, I had in my mind the time machine plot device, of the time leap machine to rely on. So her death didn't hold, the most weight for me. So, toot-tooroo. Toot-tooroo. Alright. And then the censoring of her head. I don't know. Probably for the best, for we knew what happened, and that's what, they probably had to censor it. But, I think it could be a very good thing as well. Because if they don't show it, and if they just allude to it, we can just, that leaves it to the viewer to imagine. I think that's a fine thing to allow. So I don't have a big beef with that. A little bit here and there I kind of did, but overall I understand why, and it's fine with me. Fan service, there was Okabe accidentally walked in on, of course, Mayuri and Kurisu in the shower. There was that. Ending song. I'll axe that note because I have the soundtrack down below, and I say it anyway. So, probably one of the primary and biggest things that I can talk about, and we're gonna finish this off in a couple minutes, is Okabe's character. Okabe, we are in the shoes of Okabe, and with all this time travel stuff, he used it to help out his friends. He used time travel to help people, to try and help people. That shows a world of his character. Just think about it, Think about it. If you had the ability to do time travel, and you knew you could time travel, and you could set things back, imagine all the dastardly deeds, all the evil purposes, all the dirtbag trash you could do and get away with because you could simply just reset things back and do them again, and back and do them again, or do things different, but put it back, do things different. Instead of using it for all these selfish dirtbag reasons, he did it to save his friends. He did it to try and help them with all their life problems. He slaved, toiled, blood, sweat, and tears. His mind went through absolute heck. He got desensitized to death. All the psychological torment and fear and horror that probably went through his mind. Good grief. Good grief. You wouldn't want to be him. But that's one thing the series does so well. It really puts you in his shoes. Full of concrete. It puts you in his shoes. Every dang emotion of his, we are carried right along with. Everything. He helped Mayuri, and he also saves Kurisu. So, that brings us to the soundtrack. It goes along with the anime so very well. The mystery and every emotion at every dang moment, just really, really well. The opening, awesome. The ending song, it I will be honest. For me, the ending song, when I went around the first time with it, the ending song got stronger and stronger and more powerful and more powerful and more weighty every episode. It was very impressive. Perfect ending song. Kind of allowed you to ponder things, and it just was like, all right, 10 pounds more, 10 pounds more, 10 pounds more, 10 pounds more type of deal. Very good soundtrack. And then the time travel itself. You've got D-mail. You've got time leaping the memories. D-mail was text being sent back and forth, alter the past, alter the present. Time leap, memories being sent back, being able to do different choices based upon the future, same world line. Then you have two different times of time machines from different world lines. One can only travel back in time, but the other one can go back and forward in time. But they have some sort of fuel, which is interesting. It didn't really get into that, but that's interesting. So you had 4 different types of time travel. That's very interesting. I'm curious if there's going to be another 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the case, with Steins Gate Zero. That's another thing. I also did a video which would probably be fairly similar to this review on just everything that was great about Steins Gate, that I'm very concerned for how Steins Gate Zero is going to live up to it. Very concerned. But there was all the other stuff as well. Just a couple brief things, and then we'll wrap it up here. There was Mr. Braun and his backstory. Quite brief, you know. I don't know, but it was very brief. You know, I kind of like, you know, multi-episode backstory for more weight, but they did it fast. They had to do it fast. There wasn't time, but nonetheless, we got a Mr. Braun backstory, and Braun was FB. That was big reveal. A slight bit there was they kind of reinforced it to us in case people weren't understanding it, and that's a tricky thing. I thought that was unnecessary because I got that, and yet I didn't get the other things they hinted at in terms of Suzu that they were doing. So it's tricky. It might depend on the person. I don't know. Probably so. Then these are just like minory flaws. And then the Moeka, when she was shot by Mr. Braun before he took himself out. When they did the shot, there was no blood animated, no blood, not even a red splotch. I think there should have been one, at least a red splotch. It wouldn't have been that much, but I think that was a slight thing that could have been better. Oh, shoot, I'm going to forget the other thing. Dang it. I forgot the other thing, and we're right at the end, too. Let me just go over this, and let me try to remember it after this. I've heard about the Nay story, and that it was excluded. It appeared to be very dark and disturbing. I would hope that it is explored in Steins Gate Zero. It would be very disturbing and dark. I hope it would be explored in that. That would be creepy as heck, and I would lose sleep yet again. Alright, the other thing I wanted to say is that I almost forgot right here at the end, because it's not in my notes, is realism. I got to bring it back to realism. There was one or two moments where realism slipped. And that's the very delicate thing that you have to make 200% believable with a realism anime. One that isn't fantasy based. And with this time travel seriousness, it has to be very much believable in realism. So there were a couple minor slip-ups, you know, Okabe kind of escaping and them not being at the lab. You know, realistically he wouldn't have escaped. Nonetheless, it had to go that way and that route for the plot. So I think that was, you know, maybe its biggest weakness. I don't know. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying they're just a minor flaws. I'm still going to give it one heck of a rating. So that is essentially my Steins Gate review at 36.5 minutes. Nice. So I guess that is indeed my Steins Gate review. And I probably missed a few topics. That's how much I can talk about an anime. Alright, so I give this anime an L, a Psy, a Congroo, and I give this anime, without a shadow of a doubt, I give it a 10 out of 10. I give it a full 10. Even though, you know, it might, outside of me holding it in a high regard, maybe a 9.5, but I have to give it a 10. I have to give it a 10. What an enjoyable, rewarding experience and media of a show, anime. What an enjoyable ride it was. So that is my review. One other thing I'd like to say, because we gotta make it 40 minutes, is definitely, without a doubt, you watch Steins Gate, you get hyped for Steins Gate 0, and you be very careful about spoilers, because I ran into one or two on accident, and it's very upsetting that happens because of the stupid titles and thumbnails. But you go listen to Steins, what is it? Gate of Steiner 0. Oh my gosh, is that good? Oh my goodness. Oh, baby. Is that good? That is good. Gate of Steiner 0. Oh man, that soundtrack. Anyhow, I don't think we can stretch it to 40 minutes. I don't think we can. I don't have anything to say. Oh no. I want to stretch it out though. Dang it. We reach for the heavens down. Oh man. All right. We can't stretch it out. So we essentially await the return of the King of Anime, which is what I refer as Steins Gate. Steins Gate is, in my opinion, the king of anime. So I say we have Steins Gate 0 to look forward to someday. So The organization will cut this video in 3, 2, 1.